Title, unspoken. A possibility, whispered. And a royal future, hanging delicately between tradition and affection. Before we dive in, there's something I need to share with you. Over the past few days, thousands have watched these stories unfold, but most haven't subscribed. If you're one of them, I invite you now to join us. Subscribe to Crownverse so you never miss the next chapter in this unfolding royal history. The British monarchy has always walked a careful line between heritage and heart. Titles, after all, are not merely honors, they are echoes of power, position, and lineage. But what happens when love, loyalty, and modern values press up against centuries-old customs? This is the question quietly rising around Prince William and his in-laws, Carole and Michael Middleton. Reports have emerged, not officially confirmed but increasingly discussed in media circles, suggesting that the Prince of Wales may one day bestow a formal royal honor on the Middletons, not because of duty, but because of gratitude, because they raised the woman who will become queen. A gesture of unprecedented royal affection, or a speculative story spinning faster than fact? Today, we examine this potential title, the so-called Earl and Countess of Bucklebury, and whether such a royal shift could truly occur. Let us begin with what we know. Catherine Middleton, now Catherine Princess of Wales, was born not into aristocracy, but into industrious, middle-class respectability. Her parents, Carole and Michael Middleton, built their fortune through a party supply company and raised their 3 children in the quiet village of Bucklebury in Berkshire. Throughout her courtship with Prince William, the Middletons remained conspicuously private. They rarely spoke to the press, appeared only sparingly in public, and maintained a polite distance from royal affairs. And yet, their influence, subtle and unwavering, shaped one of the most popular royal figures of our time. Carole and Michael are known to be deeply involved in the upbringing of their grandchildren, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. Their presence has provided a sense of grounded stability for the Wales family, especially during turbulent moments within the monarchy. And it is here, in this quiet, supportive role, that speculation begins. The idea that the Middletons might one day be honored with aristocratic titles is not entirely without precedent, but it is, at best, highly unusual. Historically, in-laws of monarchs do not receive hereditary peerages or formal noble titles. The late Queen Elizabeth II never extended dukedoms or earldoms to the family of Prince Philip. Nor did her father, King George VI, elevate the family of Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother. Even the Spencers, Diana's family, with centuries of aristocratic history, were not further ennobled upon her marriage to the then Prince of Wales. In the context of this precedent, the idea of the Middletons receiving titles would indeed mark a deviation, a break from royal formality in favor of familial tribute. And yet, royal tradition is not static. Queen Elizabeth herself made exceptions when it mattered most. Prince Philip, though born royal, was granted the title Duke of Edinburgh and appointed to the Order of the Garter before marriage. More recently, the monarch approved changes to royal succession rules and allowed female heirs equal primogeniture, a shift unthinkable just decades earlier. So the question is not whether the monarchy can honor the Middletons. It is whether it will. Here's where speculation emerges and must be handled with care. Some reports claim that upon ascending the throne, William may consider bestowing honorary titles on his in-laws. Suggestions range from modest honors, such as appointments to the Royal Victorian Order, to the more sensational, full peerage titles, like the Earl and Countess of Bucklebury. This name, though poetic in sound, is purely speculative. No such title exists today, and no formal proposal has been submitted to the College of Arms. The story appears to have gained traction through a mix of online commentary and royal fan discussions, not from palace insiders or constitutional sources. It is not confirmed, there is no draft document, no announcement, no tradition for this exact precedent. And yet, the narrative has legs. Because the idea touches something deeper: the symbolic desire for acknowledgement. Carole Middleton, in particular, has been a steady presence, known for her elegance, her discretion, and her unshakable loyalty to her daughter and grandchildren. She has been called by some royal watchers the monarchy's secret stabilizer. Her influence is evident in not grand speeches or patronages, but in the day-to-day nurturing of the next generation. If royal honors are, in part, given in recognition of service, could this not be considered service of the highest kind? And would a future King William, shaped by the family warmth the Middletons provided, find reason to break with tradition in their name? These are the speculative roots of the story, rooted not in confirmed planning, but in emotional logic. But to understand the implications, we must return to the role of titles themselves. In the royal system, titles are not simply ceremonial. They often carry land, income, voting rights in the House of Lords, though much diminished, and a symbolic role in governance. Granting them is no small matter. To create a new peerage for the Middletons would require approval from Parliament and the monarch. It would, in essence, create a noble house, something not typically granted to common-born in-laws of monarchs. And yet, William will be king, and monarchs may petition Parliament. If this were framed not as a political act, but as a personal tribute, honorary perhaps, non-hereditary, it is not impossible. That distinction is crucial. Not impossible is not the same as planned. Another possibility often overlooked is that the Middletons could receive royal honors without formal titles.
They may, for example, be made members of the Royal Victorian Order, a chivalric order granted by the sovereign to those who have served them personally. This would not make them peers, but would confer a form of royal recognition. Such an honor would not rewrite the constitutional structure, but it would still be deeply symbolic. It would say, quietly, that loyalty matters, that service outside the spotlight is not forgotten. And it would allow the monarchy to express gratitude without sparking debates about privilege and hereditary status. Still, there are those who caution against even this. Some traditionalists argue that formal honors for the Middletons would risk blurring the lines between monarchy and meritocracy, between birthright and favor, that it would create an uncomfortable precedent for future royal marriages. If William honors his in-laws, should George, should Charlotte? Where does it end? Others note that public opinion matters. In an age of economic hardship and political distrust, the optics of elevating one's in-laws to nobility, however earned, may not sit well with the broader British public. The crown endures not only by tradition, but by restraint. And restraint, in this case, may mean silent gratitude rather than formal recognition. But regardless of what titles may or may not come, one truth is clear. The Middletons have already shaped the monarchy in quiet, indelible ways. They raised a queen. They offered normality to a prince raised in chaos. They provided warmth, balance, and the kind of domestic structure often absent from royal life. In doing so, they have arguably done more to modernize the image of royalty than any palace reform or PR strategy. They are not crowned, they do not hold court, but their influence has been regal. As we look ahead to the future reign of King William and Queen Catherine, questions of tradition and recognition will become more pressing. Will the crown acknowledge the hands that helped steady it? Or will it,
As always, maintain its distance, honoring through action, but never through name. Only time will tell. But until then, the village of Bucklebury, with its quiet hedgerows and modest brick homes, holds something the palaces cannot manufacture, a legacy of love, stability, and the enduring power of the private sphere. In a monarchy that thrives on symbols, that may be the most powerful one of all. If you enjoyed this deeper look into the evolving shape of the crown, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Crownverse, and join us again as we uncover the forgotten corners, quiet alliances, and future shifts of the House of Windsor, where history never sleeps.